Dave, who's got the first question? So, Eric, left side.
Dave, what prompted the switch from Hill to TBD back to Rich Hill for today?
We were just kind of just potentially toying with the idea of an opener, and just kind of wanted to leave it open-ended, and just after more conversation and thought, just feel great about Rich starting and going through his normal routine.
Other questions?
Dave, with Rich, the bar in postseason has pretty much been 5 innings. What would he have to do for you to leave him in longer than 5 innings? And then also, how does yesterday's bullpen usage affect that?
Well, I think that with Rich, he's not the most efficient pitcher, and obviously the most important thing is getting outs regardless of how you get them. But when you're talking about potential length, you know, that comes with getting outs as well as being somewhat efficient. So we'll see how the game goes, and as far as getting 27 outs, I know we have enough in the bullpen to do that.
Barry, right here.
Hey Doc, is it Kershaw tomorrow?
Correct.
Questions? Bradford in the back here.
Dave, this is a little out of left field, so to speak, but after we get to this point in the year and then playing 18 innings on this turf last night and then having a relatively quick turnaround, do you have to pay a little extra attention to just the condition of the infield and the surface out there?
Actually, I think that on some infields potentially, but this is very because of the climate, the grounds crew, we do such a great job. It's very I don't want to say cushiony, but it's a very soft dirt, but stays together. So I think that as far as that, we're very lucky.
In the time where the sacrifice bond has almost disappeared, and you being a great speeder in your time, previously, a long time ago, when my father was playing, you would fake, or you would simulate going the other way with a swing, sacrificing a strike in order to retard or to delay the mechanics of the catcher for somebody to get a steal. And it used to work a lot. It's not used anymore. You sacrifice one strike instead of an out. Does it, it comes to today's strategy? I haven't seen it.
It does happen at times. There's still a right combination of base stealer and hitter who will take a strike. So I think that you do see guys, whether it's Mookie Betts, and I would recall that Benintendi will take a strike to let him steal a base. So I do think it happens. The nowadays, pitchers are very conscious of holding runners and slide stepping, throwing over to try to deter base stealers. And the game isn't, you know, there aren't as many stolen bases just overall in the game of baseball. But so there are taking strikes, and as far as using the other field, hitting the ball the other way, yeah, there could be more of that.
Hey Dave, you guys haven't done any like opener nonsense all year. Why did you decide the 4th game of the World Series to start debating it?
It's just more of the thought of where we're at with the bullpen and trying to figure out what's the best way to get as many outs as we can from Rich.
And to your left, Mark.
Dave, after whatever little sleep you got, what do you appreciate most of the theater or the drama from last night's game, aside from winning, but just from that aspect of it? And also, did you guys change your pregame routine at all today? Did you bang BP or anything?
We shortened BP to 30 minutes instead of an hour. We made it optional. I think what I appreciated is the focus on defense over the course of 7 hours. You can see Cody had a tough night at the plate, but still made a great defensive play. Kenta got into some trouble, made a great defensive play with the first and second on the bunt play. I thought the fight in the at-bats was good We're a little too big with our swings, and you look at their team as well. I think they were guilty of that as well, and that's what happens when you start going into extras and you run into Evaldi who's throwing 100 after 7 innings. But the way that we kind of were relentless was good for me to see.
Yeah, third row Dylan on your left.
Dave, I know you guys kind of talk about like the intensity of the postseason and, you know, kind of the magnitude and the focus of like every pitch. I was just kind of curious because the game's going into like 14th inning, 15th inning. I mean, were you experiencing that over like 7 entire hours, or did it kind of that intensity kind of dissipate a little bit as time went on?
Well, I don't think it dissipated. I think that you've got to give credit to Evaldi. I mean, that's, you know, when you're not hitting or you're not putting the ball in play, you know, that looks like you're very lethargic. But I do know that from my perspective, our guys were still trying to win a baseball game and do whatever we could to find a way to come out on top. And it was a little bit of a battle of attrition last night, and it was a good one. And just today, you know, seeing the guys, we're in a good mental space right now.
And just you seem like very awake right now. I'm just kind of curious what your last however many.
I'm excited. It's the World Series, Game 4.
Did you sleep at all? Like,
I slept a few hours. I'm 3 cups deep.
And Dave, with that in mind, do you have to worry about adrenaline carrying the players through? It's the World Series, obviously.
It's the World Series, man. If you can't get up for this, man, we got to find something else to do. We're fine.
And your bullpen, if you could.
Bullpen, same way. We're good.
Thank you.
Doc, just to be clear, so what you were considering was bringing somebody in to start the game for an inning, and then bringing Rich in for.
It was just something we were thinking about. We're just trying to think about all the scenarios and what would give us the best chance to win today.
But it would have been Rich either way, in one way or another, right?
Correct.
Okay. Thanks.
So was the primary reason to shift away from that Rich's routine? Did that play a heavy part in that?
Yeah.
Not shifting. Is there something particular about Rich's routine? Or
no, he's just been a starter for many years, and it's something we haven't done all year, and so it's really got to really make sense to everyone involved. And if there's any kind of debate or a little bit of uncomfortableness, then it's not something we needed. It's just a process of really vetting every scenario.
Anything else for Dave? I'll finish up more.
You mentioned Evaldi, even though you're on the other side. What did you appreciate about his effort last night?
I appreciate everything about what he did last night. I'm on the other side, but I'm a baseball fan, I'm a sports fan. And when you see people like that perform at the highest level and to stay focused, appreciating that that was 3 out of 4 for him to go 90+ pitches, hold his stuff, use his mix, and take 3 at-bats, I think, last night, and still keep going and give his team a chance to win. Those are moments that don't come by very often, and I think one of our players mentioned it. It was kind of, in recent memory, you know, what Bumgarner did in the World Series, and obviously you can talk about Sandy Koufax, who was there last night, and guys like that who did it more often as far as kind of pitching 3 games, and but in recent times it just doesn't happen, and so it was pretty special.
Dave, thanks so much.
All right, guys.